Hey, I'm Sydney, and I attended the New Student Dialogue on poverty when it was like a simulation, which is a little bit different from the other ones, but it was really cool to actually have like the real life experiences instead of just sitting there and talking about something that none of us have really experienced or very few of us had. Um, and like when we first walked in the room, we were all given like name badges of like who we were gonna be. And so like I was this 14-year-old girl um, in a low income like single parent household. And it was like a little awkward at first because we were like just meeting new people and having to like be like family members with each other, and so that was really like awkward. But then my family was like great, and we really just like tackled the um, what needed to be done. There were a lot of people in my group though that were very like disrespectful and just like making a lot of jokes about the entire situation, which honestly it was really easy to do because there were just a lot of things that were done in a very almost game like fashion. A lot of times the simulation felt like a game, which made it a lot easier to make jokes about it because it didn't like, I feel like it didn't click with a lot of people that like this was people's real lives. And so I think that like kind of inhibited a lot of people from really getting much out of the simulation, um, and made it not as like eye opening as I think it could have been because it is like a really serious issue in the United States, and it really does need to be addressed, and there does need to be like the word needs to be spread, and something needs to be done. I think the most eye opening thing was the statistics that were shared with us, just about the number of people in poverty, and things like that. But one thing I definitely disagreed with that they did is they almost like they made everyone either like a criminal or a deadbeat or a bunch of teenagers pregnant and all this stuff. And there's a lot of people in poverty today that they're in poverty because their provider lost their job or something like that. They're not all criminals. And so I definitely disagreed with that. But one thing that surprised me was how helpless the teenagers were. As I said earlier, I was a 14-year-old girl and I had to go to school and all this stuff, but I wasn't allowed to go and like get a job to help my family and all this stuff, unless I was told that I could by like my teacher or whoever. And so like that was like really frustrating. I felt very helpless and just I can't imagine being in that situation as like a 14-year-old girl knowing that like your family doesn't have enough money to eat and you're not able to do anything about it. And one thing that really stood out to me was just the apathy of the other people that were participating, just either making jokes or not really caring. And I know it is really easy to do with like the situation that we were put in, but like that is something that people deal with on a regular basis. Like that's people's lives. And so I think that there could definitely be some things done to improve the simulation to make it more realistic and easier just to take seriously. But I do think that it was a very eye-opening experience for me. I feel a lot more sympathy for these people that are having to deal with this now. That's poverty is a very real thing in our country, and it's a very hard thing to deal with. And the simulation really helped me to understand that and want to make a difference with it. I know I'm involved in some organizations already that do some things to help those that are in poverty, and so I really want to get like more involved in those now, after going through the simulation and realizing just how real it is. And it was funny for us to watch when they say that like someone got evicted. They would flip their chairs over in their little circles of families. And that's funny is like the game, the simulation, but like there are people that are really like losing their houses. There are people walking around saying like, oh, we didn't eat until like the fourth week of the month, and like, yeah, haha, like that's funny if it's a simulation, but like there's people that like, you can't live that way. And, like, there's people that are struggling to afford to buy food for their families. And so overall, I think that this was an eye-opening experience. I'm glad that I got to be a part of it, but I definitely think that there are things that could be improved to make it even more effective. So that's my vlog.